Hi kids, happy Pride Month! In recognition thereof, I'm doing an Oscar Wilde story today. I tried to do it in the parking lot of an Army Navy surplus store in order to be extra gay, but it was sunny and my phone overheated, and also there were a bunch of people and they were all kind of looking at me funny. So here I am instead. Oscar Wilde did write some fairy tales, much like our buddy Hans Christian Andersen, our equally gay buddy. Unlike Andersen, he didn't get a lot of critical acclaim for them. People tend to look down their noses at his fairy tales as opposed to some of his other works. I think they're charming and have a little bit more narrative coherency than Andersen's tend to. But it's just a personal opinion. They're unexpectedly religious, also like Andersen's. So get ready for that. There's a little Jesus in the end. This one is The Selfish Giant. You might have read it in a picture book at some point. It's been adapted a couple of times. It goes like this. The giant had this beautiful garden, right? He didn't get a lot of use out of it because he was off visiting his buddy, the ogre, for like 7 years. Why not? Ogre's a good host. And, but his garden's beautiful and apparently takes care of itself. It's got flowers up in here like nobody's fucking business. It's got this big, beautiful peach tree that is perfect for climbing. And it's got birds that sing songs like they don't sing anywhere else because there's all these kids that play in this garden and the birds love the kids. The kids love the garden. It's a great garden. They spend all their time in it. They have so many fun games and times, and but like all good things, it can't last forever. Finally, the ogre comes home, or the giant. The ogre stays home. The giant comes home. And he looks around at all these kids, and they're like, "What the fuck are all these kids doing in my garden? Get out!" And he chases them all off. Rah! And he puts a big old wall and a sign that says, "No trespassers." He's like, "I'm the only one that should get to enjoy my garden. That's just basic property law or something. I'm not a lawyer." And the only thing is that without the kids there, the flowers just don't want to bloom. And the tree doesn't want to bear any peaches, and the birds certainly don't want to sing. They go somewhere else. And, like when spring is supposed to come, it just doesn't. And then summer is supposed to come, and it just doesn't. And, the tree stays bare, no leaves or anything, and all the grass dies, and the giant's just like, it's weird. We're having a late spring. My garden's kind of uglier than I remember, but maybe it was like this the whole time I was at Ogre's. I don't know. I haven't been fertilizing or anything. And he just gets used to it that way, of having an ugly garden and there aren't any little kids in it. And, well, one day that changes. He hears this beautiful music and he's like, "What? Is there like a musician going by my door?" Because it's been so long since he heard a bird. But he looks out the window and it's just a bird singing. And he, sticks his head a little further out the window, and there's flowers, and the tree has got leaves on it, and it turns out that there had been a hole in the wall, and all the little kids have come back to play. And he watches them, from his window, trying not to scare them off, being like, "Wow, the garden is so much more cheerful with the kids in it." There's this one little kid, though, and he's very small, and he can't get up in the tree, and he's like jumping, and he's trying to climb, and he can't do it. The other little kids are trying to help him up, they're pretty little too, and finally he just sits down on the ground and he cries. He cries because he can't get in the tree. And the giant comes out to help the kid up into the tree. And all the other little kids are like, "Holy fuck, it's the giant!" And they run. But the little kid is so busy crying that he doesn't see the giant, or presumably hear his friends, freaking the fuck out. So he just sits there crying, and the giant sneaks up behind him and picks him up and puts him in the tree. And after the kid gets over, like, being scared half to death, is like, "Oh my god, thank you!" And he throws his arms around the giant's neck and kisses him on the cheek. And the giant's like, "Oh, I have a friend." And all the little kids see that the giant isn't going to be mean, and so they come back. And, from there on, the garden is happy and beautiful again, but that little kid never comes back. And the giant starts, asking about him, being like, "The little kid that I helped into the tree that first day? What happened to him? Like, I haven't seen him since, and, I really liked him. We played together. He was my first friend." Except the ogre. Fuck him. And The little kids are like, I don't know. We'd never actually seen him before that day, and we haven't seen him since. So who knows? And the years pass, and he sees all of these generations of kids come through his garden, and it's more theirs than it is his, and he likes it that way now. The giant isn't selfish anymore, and he gets older and older, and one day he's white-haired and feeble. It's winter, and he's looking out over his garden and thinking of all the fun times that they've had in the garden, going, it's okay, I know spring will come again someday now. And then suddenly, his tree bursts into bloom, and he's like, what the fuck? And that little kid, the little boy, peeks out from behind the tree, and he's like, oh my god, you're still a little kid, and it's been like a bajillion years, so that's weird. Anyway, hi, how you been? And the kid comes out, and get ready for it. He's got like wounds on his hands and his feet. I wonder what those are. They're definitely not stigmata. And the giant is like, oh my god, my favorite little weirdly unaging friend. Who hurt you? I'll kill him. And the little kid like, it's cool. Like, it's fine. And the giant's like, it's not fine. You got like, and he's like, no, it's chill. I'm Jesus for some reason. Anyway, you're dying, and we're going to go to heaven because you welcomed me into your garden, so I'm going to welcome you to mine. Isn't that nice? And they go out to the tree, and in the morning, the children come to see the giant, and he's dead under the tree with blossoms all over his body. It's kind of a sad ending, but, him and Hans Christian Andersen alike once again. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can find something else gay to tell before June is over. Anyway, I love all of you, and I hope you have a great Pride Month. Mwah! Bye!